Yeah, we can get started. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
hi.
Gary.
Thank you, Patil, for the introduction. And I really want to thank Skillemme for giving this opportunity to me to speak on something which is very important in the time of today. All of us are talking about AI, are exploring AI, are using AI in some or the other way, and we want to know more and more and more. So yes, we'll try to, put some structure to how AI is becoming a part of the learning and development ecosystem today, and what are some of the things that will help us sort of maybe even begin our journey or wherever we are in our journey with AI. Where do we want to see ourselves 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, maybe 2 days from now, because AI is evolving so fast that even one day can bring a lot of surprises to us in the fraternity. So very quickly, I'm going to request you in the chat box if you can just type, what is your profession? People who are joining in, all the participants, if you can just tell me if you're a part of L&D, HR, or any other function, it'll help me to sort of understand, the participant base. Just one word will do. Or I'm going to assume everyone is from the learning and development space, more or less. Can we have a quick one word in the chat? Okay. Hi, Sayed. Welcome.
Hello.
Okay, we're going to anyway start. Please keep typing in if you can. So yes, like I said, it's an interesting topic in the time of today for all of us here in the learning and development space. And today we're going to throw some light today and in the next session. So since AI was such a pertinent, important, and interesting topic, we've divided into two parts, which hopefully will do justice to what we want to share with all of you. It's all about bringing what we know, all of us know, and put it in the table for all of the others to see, consume, and learn from. Great talent development, training, learning and development. Great, good to hear that. Welcome all of you all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep sort of popping in and out of a presentation that I've prepared. And if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand or type the question in the chat box. We'll take it up in the end or in the next session, depending on how the time permits. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. Patil will request you to quickly tell me if the visibility is going to be there. Okay. Share. Please let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
it's
it's visible.
Okay, wonderful. So yes, AI in L&D webinar, part 1 of 2. And my name is Garima Verma OSMIK. And again, thank you, Patil, for the introduction. Thank you, Skills MA. And we move forward to our slide number 1. And as you can see on the left side, this slide speaks about the collaboration, the friendship that HR, especially learning and development as well, is making with technology, with AI or Gen AI, as we say. So I really like this picture. It's very colorful and it's very collaborative. And that's what all of us love also about what we do, collaboration, right? So assuming that, all of us have a basic idea of what generative AI is, I've still put in one um, presentation on what is Gen AI. We're going to keep it really quick just for the starters. Gen AI is basically a technology, is an offshoot of AI because AI came in and then generative feature of AI started popping in the recent few years. So what generative AI basically does is it takes in inputs. If you can see on your left, the data that it takes as an input is text, images, speech, structured data, 3D signals. And trust me, as we speak, this list is sort of expanding because of the the openness and the wideness that we see in Gen AI in the time of today. So once it takes all of these inputs, it kind of merges everything, learns from it, and sort of incorporates, collaborates, sort of makes sense of what we've given to it, And then through different pipelines, according to what we query, it gives us output. So we can say in short, it's a model that's highly learnable, trainable, So Gen AI's top feature, if somebody had to ask me what is it, I would proudly say learning. The way it learns and the way it develops itself and trains itself and gives us amazing inputs in terms of, whether it's question answering or analysis of emotion and sentiment and extraction of information, reports, data analytics and whatnot, things like image generation can happen, video generation can happen through generative AI, object recognition, AR, VR, all of that is there. So all of these things are available at hand with us as learning and development professionals. What is it that is of the most use to me? Because when it comes to technology, we are rather new, guys. I would like to say that for learning and development, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, technology was almost limited to being able to use an LMS or being able to, move the data around in Excel sheets, churn some information, etc. So yeah, it has changed now, and it's a wave which we're all looking at riding and are riding in one or the other way, and that's why we're all here. I do assume that all of you have interest in knowing more about generative AI. So this picture is there. Yes, as I would like to put it in one word, this webinar is all about reimagining. This two-part webinar is, as you see it, is about imagining it all over again on how people learn. Okay, and how people learn can be looked at in a reverse engineered way. And the work that we as L&D professionals have to do is to, now that we know how people learn, we go back and use technology, AI, and all of those tools that are available for us to enable that kind of learning. I might want to tell you to type one or two things here and there. Please keep your fingers on the keyboard. Do you agree that people, the way the people used to learn 10, 15 years ago is very different than today? I mean, at least I do think that. If you can type one word that comes to your mind, the one word that comes to my mind is fast. People want to learn fast. So if there's any other word that can come to your mind at this point, feel free to type in the chat at any time. People want to learn differently, so we have to train differently. That's it. That's what my main, point here is. So, like I said, since people have changed the way they want to learn fast, they want to learn trends. Yes, people need more innovative medium of learning. Very nice, great inputs. So yes, as learning and development professionals, it's not enough for us to just be a content delivery person looking at a PPT and reading from there and be able to drive something meaningful. It is not going to happen again. It has happened. We've done our bit. We've come from there, and now things are just in a different, I would say, zone altogether. So we have to zone with the zone, you see. Instead of delivering content, we have to look at building capability, because I mean, as I see L&D in the last 15 years, I mean, I can see myself in this particular equation. I mean, my focus used to be, at some point in time, used to be, okay, my content has to be good. Everything has to be done through the PPT, and I'll just read through there. Of course, add whatever I have to add. But now focus is completely different. What capabilities am I looking at building in people? And hence, what all, like work breakdown I have to do for myself. Yeah. So AI is the accelerator. It is it's a ground shaker. It is a helping hand. It is an enabler. Any other word that's coming to your mind? Again, please feel free to type in. I mean, I feel it's an accelerator. It helps us do better and more and faster, and bring more value to our businesses. We're partners to our business. I mean, learning and development is a topic. I think I can talk about it for hours and hours, but limiting myself to AI today, just one statement from being somebody who was approached to run a particular training program, intervention journey, invite them to do something, we are now partners for business. Business looks at you for great return on investment, for meaningful outputs, for long term impact. So all of that has changed also. All right, so this accelerator, my accelerator is not moving. I don't know why. Anyway, one word to begin with. So I'm not going to spare you. You have to type now that one word that comes to your mind when you hear AI in L&D. Artificial intelligence in learning and development space, a space that we consider holistic, a space that we consider innovative, a lot of human touch. Human resources is all about, human touch as well. And suddenly this AI, is popping in and occupying certain space there. So is there anything that comes to your mind? I'm gonna say, maybe type my own here. What comes to my mind when I, think. Okay, thank you, Sayed. Thank you for being outright honest and saying that it's scary. Yes, trust me, we're all starting from scary. Anybody who says that they were not scared when AI came in, I would say, think again. It does definitely scare you. So I'm going to give you a thumbs up, Sayed. I also thought it was scary. And now I think I've said my word. I'm going to stick to that accelerator. And Sayed, I hope by the end of these two programs as well, the word that you're going to type is not going to be scary. I'm kind of confident on that. I hope so. Okay, so scary. Now we're saying accelerator, but I've said scary as well. Maybe in one of my programs initially, I did speak about the fear it's bringing in, the fear of losing my job, the fear of you losing my value and reputation in the organization. But that has changed. Now the fear is to be able to keep up myself with the technology as well and grow with it and sort of be hand in hand with it and be able to showcase value. We'll talk about value in a bit again as well. So yeah, thank you for some of you who've shared the words. I think there's another response. Knowledge cloud. Okay, lovely. Knowledge cloud. I like the word cloud a lot. Yes, that's a lot. So, well, there's an excitement meter here, and I'm also requesting, Suruchi, you're there, you're also there, Patil, all of you all, please type in your excitement meter. Lame, meh, or woo. Mine is woo for sure. I mean, I'm sure you can sense that. So, where are you on your excitement meter? Red, yellow, green. Type in, and whoever is not typing in is definitely on red. Okay, so I am green. Ooh, yellow side. Okay, no problem. Let's take you to green. Green, yay. Thank you, Nasser. Great, good to hear. Green, green. Okay, let's keep that one up. So very quickly, guys, there's a couple of things I want to show you. I'm just jumping out one or two slides here. Some data that will help us make some sense of what's happening around the ecosystem, because whether we are a freelancer or work with an organization, our view is sort of sometimes limited to the organization or the organizations we consult and work with. But what's happening out there is something in front of you. I'd like to take 30 seconds and talk about all of this. 25% of companies experimented with AI in 2024, which is close to 100%. This is 2024, so this is not old data. This is very relevant for us today, sitting in the middle of 2025. So this number has changed to what, 150% maybe? Okay, if there was anything like that. So yes, all organizations have experimented with AI in 2024. So this is one thing for us to sort of watch out, that we cannot not, get acquainted and get comfortable and look forward towards what AI brings for us. Of the 1,000 US employees surveyed, if you see again, this is also 2024 data, and I'm purposely bringing 2024 data as well, so you can see what has happened in the last year. 70% people have used ChatGPT for work purposes. Okay, 10% haven't used for work purposes. Maybe they've still used, but not for work. And 20% have not used, ChatGPT at all. This number has changed drastically in 2025. I leave it up to you to imagine what these numbers will be in the center of 2025. Okay. So yeah, how to use AI in learning and development. We are going to focus on that in a little bit as well. But yeah, identify knowledge gaps, make content suggestions, automation, developing insights, and creating content. All of these are there, but they're not limited. AI is not limited to helping you with just these five things. There is a huge list of things, and we'll have to pick and choose the one that interests us, not even us, our businesses the most. If you see the trends on the bottom right side, 2024, AI and L&D was a 5.47 billion industry, growing up to 7.57 so far in 2025, and expected to grow up to $30 billion by 2029, which is less than 4 years from today. So yeah, going back to uh, my favorite kind of a slide here, the Kodak moment of L&D, and we've kind of spoken about it already. If you read what's on the screen, Kodak invented the digital camera, but ignored it, fearing it would disrupt its film business, because Kodak was mostly, majorly, primarily into film business, which those old kind of films that you have to take to the photographer. He's gonna wash them and dry them and build later your pictures. So yeah, they were focusing on that so much that despite building the digital camera, they weren't focusing on it. By the time they acted, the world had moved on. So you might not have heard of digicams or DSLRs by Kodak so much, because somewhere they left themselves behind, you know. So similarly, if L&D wants too long to adopt to AI, we risk becoming outdated, and that's it. That's what I've been also saying. Learning must evolve with how people consume information: smart, personalized, contextual, fast, hyper personalized, etc. So yes, we don't want to have a Kodak moment. We want to ride the wave. We use it responsibly, use it safely, but yes, we have to use it. Okay. All right. The first official topic of today I had kept, to sort of wipe out certain hypes around AI, especially from the standpoint of L&D. And you see so many question marks on the top, basically, because there are so many questions around it as well. And I would love for all of you all to, take inputs from here, go back in your organizations, teams, peer groups, and discuss certain things around AI as well, and, help them also clear off the air. So the first type we're talking about is AI will replace L&D professionals. Of course, it won't, because we've decided not to have a Kodak moment. Okay. AI enhances the impact of L&D. Remember the word accelerator. We'll stick by that. It does not replace it. So we'll learn to use AI, and there's no scare then. Yeah, say it. AI adoption requires complete digital transformation. So the word complete is scary. Do I have to wait for the entire organization to go through a huge transformation to be able to do what I have to do with AI? No. Many organizations start small with chatbots or personalization. You can always start slightly smaller. AI is all about automation, and L&D doesn't have much to do with automation. That is not true. AI also enables personalization. So yeah, I mean, uh, the best example I can give for personalization is, if you have to explain to a 5-year-old child on, what do you do in the office? How would you say it? Versus how would you say to your friend? Versus how do you say to your parents or grandparents? That's personalization of communication. And we're also talking about highly personalizing experiences for people who consume learning and development. Prediction. Generative AI helps us to do a lot of data prediction, sentiment prediction, and a lot of prediction in terms of what the next move of your learner can possibly be, you know. Curation, so creation, yes, generative AI, huge focus on creating. We spoke about image generation, we spoke about, video generation, content generation. I am believing that all of us have used at least ChatGPT to create certain content, maybe refine our emails, etc. So yeah, we know if I have to make a presentation, on a particular topic, I have ChatGPT who can give me ideas, who can help me brainstorm, help me with the flow of the program, etc. By the way, how do you think I made this PPT? It's ChatGPT as well. Well, human intelligence plus artificial intelligence is yay, yay. Okay, so we'll have to always keep that thing on. It's not like take inputs from AI and throw it out to your customer, consumer, or client or leadership. But yeah, keep that human touch on and nudging reminders, etc. Only large enterprises can afford it, and that's the biggest misnomer I'm hearing people talking about, is that we have to invest a lot of money, we're not that big, we don't have that much of headcount, maybe we don't have a lot of budget, so only large companies can afford it. That's also not right. There are free tools, premium tools, paid, pay per use, different kind of licensing available as per your needs. So we can always begin small and see how we want to expand later. So these four top hypes I've put in here, and I'm trying to tell you why AI is here to stay. AI is here to stay because of the column right. The column on the right side is basically depicting on why it's not going anywhere, because it's bringing that kind of value. Okay. Okay. Moving on to another very interesting main idea behind today's session number one is 6 ways in which AI is already, I've written the word already, or is trying to power learning and development. These are the 6 main areas I've listed, and I'm going to say there are more than 50 available, but yeah, let's just look at the top ones that can give immediate impact and bring instant change and add a lot of value in what we do. And we'll discuss one after the other, but I'll quickly request you to type in the chat box if so far okay. Is it too fast? We're going okay. Are you finding it interesting on the onset? Anything there? Please type in a keyword. I'm still high with my energy. Saya, thank you so much. Perfect. Great. Good. Please interact with me. I'm good in interaction. I promise. Okay. Yes, because my screen is shared and I'm unable to see other participants. Apologies for that. So I'm using chatbot as, see, chat as a platform to interact with you right now. All right, so personalized learning paths. We've spoken about personalization. The number 2 is adaptive learning, adaptation. Wow. One skill, we're in HR, all of us somewhere related to human resources and people development. One skill, and anybody who'd like to add anything, please feel free to do that. One skill that organizations are constantly looking for today in people at any level, entry level, mid management, junior, senior, top level, CXOs, directors, and whatnot, is adaptive capabilities. How flexible and adaptive you are. So AI helps us to create adaptive learning. It is needed very much by the learner of today, you know, for the organization's success. One size fits all, gone. And I think I put that one somewhere. One size fits all used to be, yes, back in the day when I, let's say, started in early 2000s, my career in L&D, yes, one size fits all, take it or leave it, not anymore. Smart content curation, smart, interactive maybe, engaging, yeah, very engaging, maybe rewarding, guys. Think about it. It could also be rewarding. Yeah. If I'm in the middle of a piece of content and I'm getting rewarded to answer 2 questions, that is going to give me a rush of adrenaline for sure. So yeah, a lot of content work is being done in the space of L&D with the help of AI as well. Virtual coaches and chatbots are available for your people anytime, anywhere, etc. The gamification we were talking about, automation, scaling. Each of these areas is already delivering measurable ROI in global organizations. And I am going to talk about certain organizations and what they're currently doing. And whatever we can cover today, we will, because I'm looking at, let's say, 327 already. And whatever we're not able to cover today, we'll definitely meet again in the next session and take it on from there. Okay. All right. So the first point that I spoke about was personalized learning paths. Learning paths. I'm assuming most of us uh, have been or are a part of learning and development team, so we do understand what are learning paths. And on the right, if you see, yes, so the picture of learning paths where we begin from one point and take our learners to another point where they're more skilled, more competitive, more better than before, basically in terms of how they perform. So AI curated pathways are used to close skill gaps. Hold on, I will try to help you to visualize as well. And if there is there anyone in this group who is already using AI for some of these things, please by the end of the program, I'd love to know, what are some of the ways in which you're using Gen AI in your organization or in your work as an L&D professional. So the first thing that I would like to point at is customizing learning experiences. Every learner who is coming to our content is gaining an experience. If you're having a cup of coffee, it's an experience. You're sitting in a cafe having a cup of coffee is an experience. It's not just filling your stomach, of course. The smells, the aromas, and the taste, and the people around, the furnishing, the kind of setup and layout, and the customer service, all of that adds to that experience. So when we talk about learning experiences that are being given to our learners, AI plays a very good role here by helping us customize them. How does AI customizes learning experiences? So I'll give you one example, and that'll probably help you to visualize this particular aspect of Gen AI in L&D. Is, for instance, you want to do let's say a training program or a learning intervention on a subject like, for instance, accountability and ownership. You know, you did your need analysis and you want to run some targeted program called accountability and ownership for some people. Now, if those people are, for example, entry level people who are working in the corporate for the first time, what kind of content they should be shown when they log in? Let's say we're talking about digital content or trainer driven content or anything. What kind of content will they see versus somebody who's managing a team? Because somebody who's managing a team definitely needs that skill of ownership and accountability, but they also need to be able to teach other people about ownership and accountability. So the content they will get is definitely the next level, see from that angle. So yeah, and think about accountability and ownership to somebody's from senior role. So they should also be able to see a different way of content. So three different hierarchies learning the same program, but their experience will be customized, just the way you get your coffee customized. Okay, we have to work in the background to create those systems that will give the content according to the need of the learner. Similarly, personalized learning journeys, I've already covered that as well. The journey basically would mean, some kind of timeline is there from where we start and from where we want to go. The way you will take a junior level person on that learning journey is going to be different, because somebody who's joining an organization or working for the first time, they don't want to become a manager in the next 3 months. Their job is to be a good intern in the next 3 months. So their journey is going to be different. But maybe a manager is looking to come into a role of an associate director or an AVP or something like that. So their learning journey also has to be very, very personalized. Uh, Deliver targeted content and recommendations. What will I recommend somebody who is an intern? While they're, let's say, learning a program, can a small pop-up appear from the bottom right and say, hey, enroll in a 10, would you like to learn how to handle a small talk or a difficult conversation in 10 minutes? Click here, for that person who's very new, who's not had a conversation at work before. But if a director level person is on your platform or LMS or wherever you've hosted your courses, the recommendation that they will get will be of course of a different level. Okay, so yes, optimize each learner's paths to mastery by focusing on specific development needs. So the development needs of one person is different than the development needs of another person. And hence AI helps us to do that as well. It aligns learning with evolving goals. Because all these people, whether at junior, medium level, or any higher senior leadership, or any kind of level in the ecosystem, their goals are constantly evolving. The need of their job is also constantly changing and becoming more and more value oriented. So what do we do in the background for our learners? Think about it. So AI helps a lot in that particular area. So as an example, what fix an organization, basically it creates a lot of focus on AI. They've personalized onboarding. Their onboarding process has been personalized, and it is completely based on the person that joins in. What is their role? What is their exact domain area in terms of technology, functional skills, soft skills, behavioral skills, how much uh, they need to learn of what skill. So everybody who's joining will get a different experience depending on what team they're joining and all of those things, parameters that I spoke about. By using AI, what fix reduced time to productivity. In some organizations, we also call it time taken to be fully productive by 30%. So earlier, if people were taking 3 months to be fully productive, they were now taking 2 months or so, roughly 2 months. So that reduction of 30% is a cost and resource reduction because of implementing Gen AI based personalized learning paths. So yeah, like I said, it's mentioned somewhere, no more one size fits all. Learners must get what they need and when they need it. And that's why not only learning and development content, but if you see any content anywhere, OTT, YouTube, or any other content, it's all on demand. Everything is on demand. I want to watch it when I want to watch it, whether it's at 3 a.m. in the night or while traveling or whatever. I need my content to be available for me anytime I need it. So that's the learner of today. Because to understand what's the kind of learner we have today, think of yourself as a consumer of whatever kind of content you watch. You also want it personalized, you also want it targeted, you also want some recommendations, you also want that those learnings should be changing with the way your job is changing as well, right? Okay, so that's one or two things that I wanted to speak to you about, personalized learning paths. Then I'm also going to refer to one particular case. There's an organization called. So I've just taken examples from of this thing. I've never really worked with this company, but yes, I've um, sort of understood them. I've had a interaction with them about how they work, etc. So I thought it's a good idea to share about what they do. If you see, this is just one screenshot from how they function. The company name is Disperse, and they're here looking at some analytics. Imagine if you are assessing some people and you want to understand what do they need right now. We were talking about developing personalized learning programs. So if you see, there are 4 roles mentioned here: sales manager, key account manager, sales rep, marketing associate. Role readiness score is mentioned next to each of them. This kind of analytics quickly gives you an indication on what you need to do. Okay. So if the sales manager, a person who has to manage teams, to look at a sales representative, their role readiness is 85%, but the manager's role readiness is 40. So you need to immediately, this is a red flag for me if you ask me, a manager who's got to manage the team and also be able to do very, very well in the functional and technical aspects of this thing, people management and whatnot. Their role readiness score at 40 is a red alarm. This person cannot go live. So these kind of analytics give you indicators on what your next step should be. And another screenshot here, if you see, is also analytics where you can, let's say, we're learning and development and talent development people, but think about other functions, especially of HR and also operations, is when you want to pick up someone who needs to be promoted internally. Let's say we want to fill up a position of senior manager. Okay. or a particular role. Like here, it's mentioned marketing director. If you see, I know it's very small, so I'll read it for you. Find your next marketing director. As a drop down, you can pick up anything from here. If I'm looking at a marketing director, I have certain names because of their scoring, role score. Okay. So these kind of analytics help organizations big time. This is one of the tools. It's a paid tool. It's a free tool as well to some extent. So please go out, explore. I'll say that or try. I'll look at certain tools and see what you're using in your organization currently. Are you using anything or not? If not, then what is the first thing that you can start with? What are some of the investments that are available at hand to invest in certain tools that will add value in your role and organization? Yeah. So the next thing that we want to speak about. So first we've spoken about personalized learning paths. The next point is adaptive learning, number 2. So adaptive learning basically is a very beautiful concept where learning adapts. The learning is made using AI in such a way that it is adaptive. What does that really mean and how is it different than personalization? Personalization is like, okay, for this role, this kind of content should be visible. For that role, that other kind of content should be visible. Adaptive is that personalized assessments and content delivery based on learner behavior. So while they're learning, let's say there is an assessment that pops up in the middle of the learning or some kind of quiz, some kind of small time task. And the way the response is being given by the learner decides what is the next content that will be visible to them. That's adaptive. I'll give you an example. Okay. So let's say I am looking at some digital content, trying to upscale myself on a skill of any skill, collaboration skills, let's say. So I'm reading or going through some training program on collaborative skills. So I've gone through certain slides and videos and all the content, and I'm in almost, let's say, in the middle. A quiz pops in and they ask me a set of questions and what we've learned so far. Some MCQs, click here, click there, do this, do that, and I submit my responses. In the background, those set of answers will be captured and quickly some kind of calculation of a score will be done. Let's say my score was 6 out of 10. I will see the next content I will see is still going to help me learn the concepts I have already learned better. And maybe a similar quiz can be given to me. And maybe this time I'm going to get 9. But if I had gotten 9 in the first place, it would have shown me the next level content. But since I scored 6, what I now see is something that will help me to go from 6 to 9. That's adaptive learning. Please let me know if it is interesting. Do you think this is something that'll help you to design your L&D interventions better? Do you think this will help if your learners were able to get content according to how they are performing in the training? I mean, I personally think yes, very much. So here's my response. It definitely will. Okay. Similarly, a couple of examples here. Davies Group, they implemented adaptive learning and saw a significant return on investment. Because what happens, guys, is that sometimes when people have gone through certain modules, upskilling interventions, etc., it is believed that they have been upskilled. But on the real, because there was no adaptation to the learning, I was able to go from one to the other, to the other, to the other concept and tick mark, my learning is done. Now, because my generative AIs helped me to design adaptive learning modules, I will not let people go forward until they'll reach that stage of at least 9 score out of 10. That has helped this organization get 600% more ROI, saved about 400 hours because it was personalized and adaptive. Okay. Even your assessments can be personalized. Let's say, again, different levels, different roles, different KRAs and KPIs. You can use AI to design assessments according to your particular role. Because if you're an L&D professional and I'm an L&D professional, maybe you and I are doing completely different things. I'm focusing more, let's say, on sales enablement, and you're focusing more on leadership development. You know, so those kind of things also help you, you know, implement this adaptive learning programs. Some tools I have listed here are, you know, mentioned here. I will share with you in the playbook that we've promised to share with you at the end of the session too. I'm going to add all of this content in that playbook as well. That'll help you. Tosibo, Learn, and Filtered, and Axonify are three examples who help organizations to design adaptive learning materials using Gen AI. Okay, so that's one thing. Next topic, if I could move my slide. Okay, here. Smart content curation. Now, we've been talking about using content, but the content itself, can we make our content smarter? When I say smarter, which basically might mean I'll be able to make or design, curate. First of all, think about the content. Designing is something that comes much later. You know, the thought process, the approach, the intent of the content, depending on the audience, etc. So all of those things can be done using Gen AI. That smartness can be inculcated into my content right from the scratch, from the time I thought of making it. Okay. So high value, fast. These are two things more aligned to business. Business is looking at learning and development as a partner, and they have a lot of expectations from us. And this is an opportunity for learning and development to show the value also, you know. So yes, you know, faster content creation, faster and better and more aligned. So one or two examples I'd like to give here is that it's a government organization called Enterprise Ireland, and they used a particular, tool called Anders Pink, which is an AI, Gen AI based tool, and what fixed. So basically, two tools, a combination to deliver dynamic daily content to upskill SMEs in real time. So what basically they did is that, you know, they'd be pushing in small micro modules on their phone every now and then, very micro, 1 minute. Would you like to learn this in 1 minute? Yes, click. Tuck, 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 done. Would you like to learn the skill further? The time investment is 10 minutes. Yes, okay, done. Would you like to go for a certification? The time investment is 2 hours. Yes. So those kind of things were enabled by combining two different platforms, and the Pink and Whatfix, and their content became so dynamic, so engaging. It involved people like nobody's business. It completely changed the way people, when I say learners, I'm talking about all employees in the organization, other than the learning and development, are all learners for us, right? Even we are a part of the learning fraternity as well. So that brought out a lot of change in the organization, you know, by being able to put that kind of idea that if what if my what if when my learner is in, let's say the second half of the day, first half of the day, a particular time when people are slightly, let's say, free, I pop in this kind of a thing on their phone, and rather than maybe watching an Instagram reel, it's better if they go and do some kind of learning for themselves. So it created that kind of learning culture. And I know for sure, I mean, I wouldn't even need a second thought to say that one of our job responsibility as an L&D professional is to enable and drive a learning culture in the organization. And these are the things that help us. So tool examples are here, guys. I know I'm not taking example of a tool that we all use all the time, Chat GPT, because I think we know how to use Chat GPT basically. So I haven't paid a lot of, attention to that, because I thought it's an opportunity to talk about certain other unheard and, more important ones as well, since we're good with Chat GPT now. So this one quick case study here that I've put in for all of you all, a case of Amazon. You know, what happened, this will help us understand also how Amazon has embraced AI for their learning and development. So at an organization level. Let's start with the quote from Amazon's L&D leadership is that we use AI not just to distribute content, but to guide employees towards learning that actually matters to their job and career trajectory. Okay. So from distribution of content to learning that actually matters. Think about that initial visual that I showed on my screen from content creation to capability building. Is it not the same thing here as well? So that's exactly what leaders around the industry, of organizations like Amazon are talking about. So Amazon is developed, and so I'm going to tell you like a story here. This is what was the case, and that's what this is what they did, and what did it result into the impact. So yeah, let's sort of pay some attention to this particular case. Amazon has developed an internal AI-driven content recommendation engine. We were just talking about content recommendation, right? So this is done to curate and personalize role-specific learning resources for its vast and diverse workforce. We all understand an organization like Amazon is big, and the number of people that work in the organization are a few 100,000 and diverse as well. A lot of feet on street, a lot of back office, a lot of customer support, a lot of product, a lot of innovation. So lot of diversity is there. Um, how they use AI for content curation. Let's look at that real case. AI algorithms analyze employee job roles, right? So they analyze what kind of role does this person do? What is their career goal? How have they performed in the past? And what are their behavioral indicators? So since we're all in L&D, I assume that you'll understand these terms. Job role, career goal, performance data, like what are the key performance indicators and what are the score of this person on those indicators, and the behavioral signals. So they captured this data, analyzed it through AI, okay? And bases this data, the system curates and recommends content from Amazon's internal libraries and external platforms like LinkedIn Learning and Coursera. So imagine an organization like Amazon would have a huge content library of its own. Amazon has Kindle, Amazon has books, Amazon's own research and innovation is so much. They have so much internal content library. Plus, they partner with platforms like LinkedIn Learning and Coursera. And the AI looked at those put together internal and external content, used information and data from these four parameters that we spoke about, then crawled through these libraries, and they tagged and ranked using natural NLP. So don't worry about this technical term NLP. So basically, this is the way in which a Gen AI or AI processes information and machine learning to surface most relevant material for each user. So those systems were able to create or list most important courses somebody has to do depending on their job role, career goal, performance data, and behavioral signals. Imagine all of that manual work that's going in today can be done by AI in a fraction of a second. Okay. So yeah, so we do create competency frameworks in L&D, and we do speak about skill sets, etc. And we measure competency, map competency with skills, etc. But all of this is done through AI in very, very less time than it would take you otherwise. The impact, of course, was improved learning engagement and satisfaction due to relevance. This is one word I'd like to highlight here, guys. That because of their job role, career goal, and all this data that was available with us, what we brought to them was very relevant to them. That's why engagement became higher, and that's why satisfaction became higher. It's like, this is how I like my dal, you know? So if I get my dal in the way I like it, with a little bit of red chili on top, with a dash of lemon or whatever, satisfaction will increase, engagement will increase, for sure, you know? Reduction in time spent in searching for learning resources. Imagine LinkedIn has over 18,000 courses. Who has the capability to go look there? Although there is an inbuilt AI within LinkedIn that helps you to search for good courses, but it still sometimes becomes slightly challenging. So implementing those kind of AIs that help you fetch the perfect courses for your people, better alignment of learning content with individual performance and business. Of course, more aligned, more relevant, means more engaging, more satisfaction. The more satisfied our people are, the less they will think about moving out of the company. It's going to bring them loyalty. It's going to bring a lot of uh, belongingness. It's going to help them develop their skills and apply for better roles in the company. I can talk about it for a long time. So yeah, these are the benefits it brought in Amazon. I hope you like this case study. I went on Amazon's website and looked for some information and found this, and I thought putting it here will sort of give you insights as well. So the next use we are talking about today is also watching time a little bit. Okay, yeah, we have a little bit of time. So I'm going to take 5 more minutes, and maybe the rest we can cover the next time. Another thing that AI can help organizations and L&D professionals do is create virtual coaches and chatbots. Okay. AI helps development of chatbots. Even AI agents are there available to do your tasks. Would request you to read a little bit about AI agents when we meet the next time. Maybe we can have a small 5-minute quick talk around AI agents, but read it generally also and read it in the context of learning and development as well. So AI chatbots provide real-time learning support within MS. So think about this. Don't go on the slide, but just imagine you're in the office, your learner or your employee that you want to train is in the office, and while they're working and probably talking to someone on Teams, they get a nudge from your AI that your course is pending. Can I block your calendar? So I'll give you. I'm sorry, I don't have a visual for that. I'll try to speak in a way that can help you visualize it. So one of the learners is sitting on the system doing their daily work, etc., and they're talking to someone on Microsoft Teams. Within the Microsoft Teams, the pop-up comes in, a nudge comes in, which is a reminder for that person to complete a course that they started on the LMS. Okay. And also through an agentic AI, tell the person that if what is I see that 12:30 to 1 p.m. today is free on your calendar, may I block your calendar for 30 minutes for you to go learn that particular skill? So imagine the effort of the learner is reduced so much. I'm just sitting working on my system. My agent pops up, my chatbot pops up, reminds me about the course, and also goes ahead and blocks my calendar. And 5 minutes before that time also gives me a reminder call. And on a click of a button, it takes me to that particular course from where I left. That's a great learning experience. And these are the kind of experiences we should aim at. Even if we're looking at a too much of an optimistic picture, yes, we have to look at an optimistic picture. This is, an ideal scenario for today's learner. Who, if you don't remind, who, if you don't nudge, who, if you don't give pop-ups and, bubble and, those nudges, they are going to forget to do it. They are not going to do it. You cannot follow up then. So that culture where, uh, AI is helping you refine those tasks, automate those tasks. Imagine if you had to do it manually, you have to write an email to that person. If you're in learning and development, so I'll tell you something. In some of my past roles, I have been responsible to drive LinkedIn learning, for example. Some of my colleagues have also done that. And I know how difficult it becomes sometimes to remind people to complete their learning hours every month. Imagine there's an AI doing that on your behalf. So, at some point we used to write emails to people. Your course, this course is incomplete. Please click on this link to complete it. Writing an entire email, but AI is going to do that for us. That's going to automate those recommendations, those micro courses, send those little nudges. In one of the tools, you'll it may just bring a big smile on your face. One of the tools that I did a demo for, There's a little hand that comes in from the side of your screen and does this tuck tuck on your screen. So, those are the experiences learners are getting, you know, to be able to be there, be more present, be more engaging, interact with your content more, complete their learning hours, upskill themselves, and make lesser mistakes at work, be more productive, give more output, be better in behavioral skills, have better competencies, skill sets, etc. Yeah. One example I'd like to speak about, and that's where we are going to sort of call it a session, is Unilever. So Unilever has created AI-powered chatbots. This is done to support learning across, again, global workforce. They're also across multiple countries, and hundreds of thousands of employees work. Now, these bots are used to train employees on soft skills, leadership behaviors, inclusive communication. They guide employees through personalized learning journeys. They also guide you, like I said, no, click here, click there. Do you want to learn more? Yes. I would recommend that you look at these three courses. These three courses will help you to develop for your next role, and those kind of recommendations. And offer just in time micro learning, just in time. I mean, at the time when the user is ready, the training is ready. And within the flow of work, basically also means like while they're working in their normal platforms, those nudges are integrated within MS Teams, for example. So the person doesn't even have to go anywhere to check. It's coming to that particular learner. So yeah. So I would say that from the 6 main uses, we've done 5, so no problem. We can look at the 6th one in the next session. And I'm going to stop my screen right now. Thank you very much for being here. Anybody has any questions before I hand it over to you, Patil, again?
Any questions?
Yeah, I do, Patel and Grima Sayed here. Let me just turn my camera on as well. Yeah, good evening, and thank you for the session. It was very insightful. Actually, to start off with, this actually cements the gap which I had. I always knew AI is the way forward, but then I, as a person, could never, or rather have not taken the step towards this platform. So, yeah, the session over here clearly explains as to how important it is and uh, where we are going in the days to come. So my question over here, Patel and Garima, is the next session, which is scheduled on the 28th, right? Would we learn like on hands of any tool per se, which you've mentioned a few tools over here? Would we learn those tools, or at least an intro on those tools? Would that be a part of the curriculum in the upcoming program?
So, Sayeda, if I've understood your question correctly, first of all, thank you for the question. Thank you for the camera. Um, is that you want to understand if you will be practicing on some tools? Is
Yeah,
what you're saying?
the
Okay, yeah,
upcoming
yeah,
session.
yeah, yeah. So I have thought of ChatGPT. I have also created a set of prompts that will help learning and development professionals. I would, I would call it like a kickstart kind of a thing, like light up the match and give the matchstick to you. Now you see what you want to do with that fire, that kind of thing. So ChatGPT is one thing I'm thinking of. A lot of other tools are there. So what I can also do is thank you for also bringing these inputs. And Sayed, we've been talking about personalizing experiences and giving the learner what they want. So if you want practice, we will try to, of course, bring that one on. I'll bring, some kind of freemium or free kind of platform in which we can register and do a small simulation practice also. But I have also downloaded a couple of videos of how AI is helping us simulate, let's say, sales conversations, interview conversations, and whatnot. But for sure, ChatGPT, and I'll try to look for another tool that might give more insights. Sayed, in the meanwhile, I would love for you to share with me, like, what kind of industry do you work in, and what kind of work in
Right.
L&D that you do?
Thank you, Riman. This will actually help. See, as I was telling you, okay, let me answer the question first. I'm working for a company called IOPEX, which is an IT-based company. We are based over Chennai, Gurgaon, uh, Indore, Bangalore, and we're also opening up a site very soon in Ahmedabad. Yeah, so we are basically an IT-based company. We work more on digital marketing. And me personally, having about 16 years of experience in L&D, I'm from a service background. It's the first time I'm stepping into IT. and for me everything is going like over my head, so I think it's high time I get into the game. So for me to I always knew that AI is the future, as I told you earlier, and thanks to your program today, it just fills in, cements the gap which concrete says, yeah,
Great.
I high time I need to get there. So
Yes,
my
very
ask
good.
was,
Maybe, amongst ourselves, Patil, Suruchi, all of us can maybe look at designing a larger intervention and bring in more people and take them on a journey and sort of do some more targeted and more meaningful interventions with them. We can always talk about that as well. I think these are the inputs that help us also go back and curate something more meaningful. Great. So yeah, we'll meet again and for sure do some kind of practice and more insightful
I just
work.
said, if you can help me just strike the match, I will take it on. I mean,
Yeah.
at least I need to get my
Yes,
hands
yes, yes.
dirty.
Thank
I need to
you.
get there.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely. Great.
Thank you, Sayed.
Okay.
I think we have gone past the time. So thank you, Garima. The case studies what you mentioned. So I think it will help learners to take a lot of informed decisions. And the part, the Unilever you spoke about, the micro learning and the nudging, which is very important in today's world. Where we are crowded with so much information, and these AI tools, which will take informed decision for us, and that makes our decision making much more easier, is I feel, as a learner point of view. So thanks for bringing in those case studies. So thank you all for joining us for the first part of our AI in learning and development webinar series. A
Thank you
special
very much.
thanks to Garima again for sharing her valuable insights and experiences with us today. So this session was brought to you by Skillemme, where our focus is, as repeating myself, so reskilling, upskilling, new skilling to help individuals and organizations stay future ready. So hope you found today's discussion engaging and thought provoking, and we look forward to welcoming you again for the part two of the series, where we'll continue to explore how AI is shaping the future of learning. So thank you once again, and see you
Thank
in the
you
next
very much
session.
for having me. Thank you, Skillemme. Thank you, Patil. And thank you, Suruchi, for organizing this.
Good day,
Thank
good day,
Have a
you.
everyone.
wonderful rest of the day, everyone. And I'm going to see you on the next side of the weekend, the other side of the weekend, rather. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Good
Bye.
day, everyone. Bye.